It's called My Decaying Mind in Quarantine. This was on trending. And this is something we talked about at the very beginning of quarantine, that a lot of people may suffer. And I have no idea what this video is about, so I'm hoping it's like a serious breakdown in this. But I know a lot of people who's struggling mentally with the quarantine because their validation and what they look for in life and all that stuff doesn't exist anymore. Whether that's going to the gym, going to work, their office life, going to the bar, drinking, going to the club, picking up girls, picking up guys. None of that stuff exists anymore. So when you're alone in your own space, can you exist? Can you exist in your own head, in your own space? So let's see if that's what this is talking about.
James, I just wanted to let you know that I'm...
Did this guy just call me by my name?
Hello, everyone. It's me, James.
Okay, it's... Okay. Okay. All right. Relax. Relax, everybody. Relax. Relax. Oh, my God. Okay. Okay, we started it a little... All right. So his name is James. I thought he was calling me. I thought he was talking to me. I thought he was watching the stream. I didn't know what was happening.
Hello, everyone. It's me, James. I just wanted to let you know that I'm launching this card game called Cafe Chaos on Kickstarter today. There'll be more info at the end of the video. This isn't some bit. I actually made a card game and I worked really hard on it. So please click the link in the description to get your...
My name's Joe Exotic. I exploit dangerous wild animals for profit, and that's only the least reprehensible thing I've done. In this 8-part docuseries, I'll show you the bad, the horrible, and downright disgusting aspects of what it's like to be a polyamorous, meth-addicted Tiger King. I'm the real Pokemon master, you hear?
And just like that, by watching other garbage humans on his television, James felt ever so slightly at peace while the world crumbled around him.
That is true. That's something that has always been true about reality TV. People watch reality TV. This is a look behind the glass here. Reality TV became really popular because it feeds on the idea that people want to watch other stuff to go, like, just be chaotic, because it makes their own life seem less chaotic and it makes everything okay. Just like we were talking about with people hating success because it makes them feel inadequate. People love to watch train wrecks because then all of a sudden they feel like they're normalized, their own problems are normalized, or what's going on in their life isn't that bad. So that is a reason why reality TV and shows like Tiger King or anything like that are so popular, like dating shows, The Bachelor, whatever, is it puts whatever the viewer's going through into a scope.
For the first time in months, James smiled.
I'll be real with you, being in quarantine has sucked a lot. I miss hanging out with friends, I miss going to non-essential businesses, and I miss wiping my butt with toilet paper instead of my dog. All I've had for company has been floof and my own mind.
The mind... So I didn't have as big of a problem transitioning to quarantine because I had been living on my own for a while, so I was used to all that. But I can definitely understand where the no noise, right? Like we're not talking about like actual like literal noise, but just the hustle and bustle of everything. So the hustle and bustle where you get in your car, you drive somewhere, you stop and get coffee, you talk to the person who's giving you coffee, you stop at a red light, you're listening to a podcast, you get to the office, you're hearing and talking to coworkers, you're doing projects, you're working, you're getting dressed, everything's linear. Then you go home and do the exact same thing. You're on this linear clock. To be off of that linear clock and then simultaneously remove all of the hustle and bustle that just happens in your world, that can be was a really hard transition for people, because then it started to blur everything. You didn't have these very linear specific time things. I remember one of the first things that really changed for me in quarantine was my eating schedule. So I used to get up and eat at the exact same exact same time every day. I'd eat breakfast, I'd eat lunch, I'd eat dinner the exact same time. Once I was on quarantine, it was like, well, if I'm not hungry, I'm not eating, right? There's no point in me rushing a meal. I don't have somewhere to be. I don't have to get back to the office. I don't have to leave. So I can eat whenever I want to. So then it became, well, I'm just going to eat when I'm hungry. And then that eliminated a whole meal. So now I usually eat like breakfast, like a late breakfast and dinner. I really don't eat lunch. I might have like a snack or something, but I that's the first thing that really changed for me was that middle meal. How did you work all this out? You know what you're talking about. Oh yeah, I'm on a whole nother level. I agree. To be honest, video games and watching streams has saved me. Without those, I think I'd be far more likely to want to go out. Yeah, I mean for sure. You know, that's another thing is the idea of hobbies, right? Like a lot of people don't have hobbies. A lot of people don't do anything. Their whole life is wake up, go to the office, come home, watch something on TV, and go to sleep. If you remove the office part and you don't have any hobbies, it's like, well, what am I going to do? I know a lot of people who have picked up stuff in quarantine, whether they're trying to learn a new language, they're trying to learn tennis or golf, or they're trying to, learn coding or whatever, what have you. And it definitely can be hard if you don't have stuff to occupy your time.
So it's been a little hard to stay motivated during this time. But if staying home instead of going to Disneyland will save people's lives, then I guess I'll have to make that sacrifice.
Good guy.
It's so hard to be a good person. Some of the things that have been helping me mentally has been exercise, a positive mindset, and garbage television. I used to think that garbage television...
Exercise is also something that's been hard to do because back then it's like, well, if you go to the gym, if you drive to the gym, you're going to work out, right? Like you're there. But in your house, if I do 100 push-ups and I'm tired, it's like, all right, I'm done for the day. You know, like I'll just walk to the other room. I don't have to do this. So exercise is something that's been super important. I love working out. I've always worked out my entire life. During quarantine, it's probably been the hardest to stay motivated and stay working out because one, you can only do so many things. And two, you don't have to do them. You know, like I'll do push-ups, sit-ups, whatever. Y'all know I've been going to swim at my local natatorium, and that's been really good. So, yeah, exercise is tough.
Was stupid and a waste of my mortal existence. But as I started watching more garbage, I realized that I've already been fascinated and enjoyed watching garbage content for years. Have you seen the videos I make? I've said this in my conspiracy video that I love watching crazy people talk for hours. Now take those same people, give them a camera crew and a budget, and you got a brand new show on TLC. What's that? You've never heard of TLC?
I think TLC is underrated for how shitty of a channel they are. TLC has made their living showing you they're almost like a circus, right? For a while, TLC was, this person eats Tide Pods. This person weighs 740 pounds. This person has 3 arms. This person is a little person. This person is a little person married to someone who has 3 arms. This person eats little people. You know, like it was the freaks of society. And again, those shows are made for you to feel good about yourself. Shows like The Biggest Loser are popular because it makes people feel better about themselves because they're watching people struggle more than they're struggling. So when TLC makes their living showing shows that of the less fortunate or maybe the freaks of society, I think it's sad.
The learning.
I do not support shows like that. I do not support shows like The Biggest Loser or My 500-Pound Family or whatever. I think it's disgusting.
Channel? Well, TLC is full of wonderful programs and documentaries that'll teach you if you become trashy enough, you'll end up on TV. And that's what schools should be teaching. No, this video isn't sponsored by TLC, but if they wanted to sponsor me, I'd say no. I just want to be on an episode of My Strange Addiction. I'll tell you what the addiction is later, TLC. One show I've been unhealthily binging is called 90 Day Fiancé. It's about when a boy meets a girl, or a girl meets a girl, or a man meets a much younger girl online, and they sort of like each other, but they're from different countries, so when they meet each other, they have 90 days to decide if they want to get married before their visa expires. It's great that the
I think 90 days is long enough. I think you can tell within 90 days if you want to marry somebody.
Internet exists so that these clearly desperate people in different countries even have the chance to form a relationship. And it's equally great that the internet exists so we can watch very personal moments of these strangers' lives. The show really shines with the most garbage of couples. I've seen other YouTubers talk about this one specific couple, Big Ed and Rose. I don't want to make fun of Big Ed's appearance, but let's just say he saves a lot of money on scarves.
90 days is not long enough. I think 90 days, here's why I say that. So if you're on a show, 90 days in reality probably isn't long enough. But if you're on a show where you are specifically spending that entire 90 days, it's like, well, within those 90 days, you should know yes or no. Will it work out? Will it be eternal bliss? No. But after 90 days on this show, if you're like, I'm still kind of on the fence about this person, I don't know. I mean, I feel like you could get to know somebody pretty well spending 90 straight days with them on a reality show where the whole point of the show is to get to know each other. I'm not saying you'll fall in love. I'm not saying that the marriage will be forever lasting and full of fantastic unicorns, but that is a long time.
And turtlenecks. He's a 54-year-old pursuing a relationship and wanting to marry a 23-year-old Filipino woman named Rose. And Ed has a daughter that's 6 years older than Rose. And he's older than Rose's father. Can you imagine for a second if your mom was 6 years younger than you? And on top of that, Ed is a huge liar.
That is crazy. That is nuts. That is crazy to even think about. Age is a wild thing, especially with dating and stuff like that. I mean, I personally don't. I think there are not boundaries, but there are like guidelines or times where if I talk to like a 19-year-old, we are living in different zones. What I think is important, what a 19-year-old thinks is important, very different. You know, so I can't even imagine a 50-something-year-old and a 20-something-year-old being on the same wavelength.
Liar. He lied about his height. He lied about wanting to have kids with her. He's also really mean to Rose. I mean, sure, he's old enough to be her father, so he's probably used to talking down to young people, and a dad telling their kids that their legs are hairy and their breath stinks is justifiable. But this is his girlfriend. At least make her a bag lunch first. Even if I thought Big Ed was the best guy in the world, do I think a relationship could work between people with a 31-year age gap?
Well, let's take a look at the math. Here is the half-year age plus 7 rule graphed out. So if you're 30, then it's socially acceptable to be dating someone who's 22. Now, obviously, this graph isn't set in stone. But for reference, here's Big Ed's age versus
22 and 30 is like the bare minimum. Because 22, you could be out of college. You could be kind of past that phase. You could be into the next phase of your life. That's close. I would say like 30 and 24 is probably more acceptable.
Is Rose's age. So when Ed was 40 and taking care of his 15-year-old daughter, Rose was 9.
So do I think an age gap of 31 can work? Well, mathematically and common sense speaking, not until Ed is 76 and Rose is 45.
If something happened to my mom and my dad started dating someone 6 years younger than me, I would have to take him outside and beat some sense into him. Retweet.
I think that'll take longer than 90 days, though. The second and third reason I love this show is David and Lana. I haven't seen any YouTubers talk about this couple, but they need to. Meet David, a 60-year-old guy from Vegas who's fallen head over wallet for a Ukrainian woman named Lana. He spent 7 years and $250,000 US on a relationship where he hasn't even met the other person. He's tried to meet up with Lana on 3 separate occasions already, but got stood up every single time. Now he's putting all of his credit cards on the table and is willing to risk it all on a 4th trip to the Ukraine to meet his soon-to-be mail-order
Наречена.
who doesn't speak English. Long story short, they meet after 13 episodes. David gives her a brand new iPhone X to text him on, only for him to get eternally ghosted because her nails were too long to text him back. Let me remind you that they were in contact for 7 years. That's how old Rose was when Ed was 38. Me briefly describing these two's relationship just now was so much of an emotional roller coaster that I don't even need to go back to theme parks anymore. It makes me want to puke, and I hope you can see why I love this show so much. I know that reality TV is fake and
You gotta feel bad for some, like the long distance idea. I think it happens a lot nowadays. I was just listening to one of my favorite radio shows, Delilah, and she was talking to some like Filipino lady who was marrying a guy who she had never met, and it's just like, man, I think it happens a lot nowadays, and I don't. It's hard to put yourself in that space. I guess you're just marrying the idea, or you're dating the idea, and sometimes there are people where a lot of people do this, where they like the planning aspect of things or imagining things more than actually doing them. Like, I know people who they like the idea of, it's almost like window shopping for the brain, where you like the idea of setting up a stream, or you like the idea of planning out a video, or writing a script, but you don't actually like doing it. You don't actually like making it happen. You just like creating it all in your head. I think that's what happens with these long distance relationships.
Who knows if this entire relationship was scripted and manufactured for the show?
Could be.
But I don't care if it's fake. This smile is real. Watching garbage television all day isn't as fun or healthy as it may seem, believe it or not. Even though I spent a good portion of this video hyping up trash TV, you should also be doing something productive. Like watching YouTube videos. To compensate for all the garbage I watch, I've been exercising more. Right when the pandemic began its exponential spike, I bought a home gym machine and I've been working out 3 times a week with my friend DJ. DJ and I met because we're both friends with Alan Becker, who makes these animations versus animator videos, and one day I noticed that DJ's muscles were a lot like one of my Japanese animes. He was a walking, breathing protagonist that my body dysmorphia had been holding me back from being.
I'm not sure what the hell just happened. So we went from talking about reality TV to DJ just being yoked out of his mind. But we're on a wild ride here. We took a left turn somewhere.
Becoming. I reached my skinny hands out to DJ and said, "Hey DJ, can we work out together?"
So this is where I put the iPad to talk to DJ.
This is the jacked guy? This is the anime Hulk Hogan? This is him?
Oh, hey, James. This is where I got the treadmill, the weights, and this is my favorite piece of equipment, this rag up here so I don't bump my head when I do pull-ups. This is where I keep my air conditioner because it gets very hot in this garage. This is what it used to look like a month ago. Anyway.
The reason I started working out more seriously was because people were calling me skinny and other slanderous synonyms like slender and scrawny, and I told my friends that I was hurt by these comments. But they all unanimously agreed that it's true. I am a Slim Jim. It's important to have a reason for working out. Mine is self-loathing. DJ is forcing me to push myself. We've only been going for about 3 months, or a whole 90-day fiancé, and I've already gone from struggling to lift up this much weight to struggling to lift up this much weight. Sorry if I'm flexing too much on you. I'm just proud of my progress. The point is, while trash TV is fun, remember to mix in some productive activities during the day.
Yes, very true. That's what I said at the beginning of the video. In quarantine, it's very important to have a plan. It's very important to be like, okay, I need to do this. I need to exercise. I need to eat, actual meals instead of just snack all day. I need to take care of whatever projects you have, whether it's learning something new or working around something in the house or whatever you want it to be, a stream or whatever. And then it's always okay to wind down with YouTube videos or Twitch or garbage TV or methamphetamines or cocaine or crack, whatever you want to do, to wind down. That's all fine.
For example, exercise. You don't need equipment. Do 10 push-ups right now, loser. Clean up after yourself. During these hard times, keeping your space organized and tidy will be a big boost on your mental health.
Very true. Cleaning is something that I do when I'm really stressed. I just clean, and it's almost like I'm physically removing the stress. I'm mopping the stress away. I'm throwing stress away. Reorganizing, cleaning, stuff like that. It does work for me. It's like decluttering your mind by decluttering what's around you.
Wear a face mask if you need to go out. Learn how to cook. You should also be eating healthy too. Stop eating so many.
Eating healthy should be the easiest thing in the world now for most people after the quarantine, because it was so easy to go to restaurants. It was so easy to go to fast food. It was so easy to do all that stuff before. But now that all that stuff doesn't exist, it should be easy for you to say, okay, well, I need to learn how to cook whatever, chicken, meat, fish, whatever you like to eat. I mean, it can be anything, pasta. But you should be able to cook a few things, whether it's the Instant Pot, crock pot, baking, grilling, who gives a shit? But you should come out of quarantine knowing I can grill chicken breast and make a salad or make a side dish, I can do that. I know how to do that. And another thing is, like, it's so much more expensive to shop for snacks like chips and frozen meals. It's way less expensive to just eat healthier. So that's one thing quarantine should do, is it should eliminate a lot of the going out to eat every single night, because now it's just such an inconvenience to go out to eat.
Bagel bites. Watch parkour fails. Remind yourself how safe you are inside. These guys could get COVID and a broken tooth. Wear a face mask if you need to go out. Shave your head. Who cares anymore? Watch competitive sports fishing and get your blood pressure to rise so much that you feel pressured into working out again. And oh my god, how big is that fish? Oh my god, it's a 1,200-pound bull shark! They need 7 people to pull it on the boat, and oh my god, is that Big Ed? And last but not least, check out my newest game on Kickstarter. Over the last year, I've been developing a new game called Cafe Chaos. You start the game by choosing a character with a unique ability, target other players, and throw food combos like
moldy, double deep.
During.
This is the first video of this guy that I've watched. I really enjoyed this video. But I think that, I mean, this is a real conversation. Like, I mean, I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist or any kind of ists, but quarantine is affecting people psychologically. It is affecting people. It is affecting our way of life. I mean, I've had conversations with my friends who have all referenced different kind of side effects of, you know, feeling disenfranchised or feeling just kind of separated or feeling where things that used to matter don't matter anymore. So it's always very important to take care of yourself. And now more than ever, it's important to take care of yourself when all you have is yourself. You know, like, if you're quarantined alone, you're spending every single hour with just yourself. So making sure number one is good to go is the way to go. That was a good video. I like that. That was from TheOdd1sOut. He has 15 million subscribers.
Hello everyone, it's me,
What?